Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you a couple of ideas using the August stamp of the month called Goodbye Isn't Forever. Okay, so this is the stamp set and it's got some scenery image and then some trees and then some sentiments. Sometimes we need these sentiments for cards. There are a couple, however, on the set. One is thinking of you and the other is hello. So there's options. And then I'm also going to later on use the shaker window thin cut, which is also going to be carried over into next year's catalog. So it'll be available for another year. Then I'm going to use the papers from the Memory Lane collection. Okay, so I have this scenery stamp loaded into my MISTI with some White Daisy cardstock, and I'm going to stamp it out in charcoal ink. I don't have to worry about the type of ink that I use because I'm going to use colored pencils to add color, so I wanted something a little bit softer here, so I chose charcoal instead of black ink. And I'm just stamping this out, and then I'll color it in with colored pencils, but first I want to add some clouds. So I have this stencil. It's from Waffle Flower and it's called Cloudy Stencil, and all the edges have cloud shapes so you can layer them. I'm going to bring in my Altenew Ultra sticky mat, and you'll see how this stencil will stick around the edges of my stamped image. So I'm going to use the new color of the year called Journey, and this is available as of the filming of this video. We were out of stamp pads, but this week we are expecting another shipment. So you can get this plus all of the other new colors that are going to be available over the next 12 months in the new Close to My Heart color palette. And those stamp pads are also expected this week. Reinkers and cardstock are also available in all those new colors. So this is Journey, and I'm just moving the stencil around to layer the cloud images in, and I'm trying to go in with color very, very lightly. So you'll notice I only ink up my blending brush a couple of times. So I just want very subtle, and it's a little hard to see on camera, but in real life it does take on the look of clouds in the background. Just want some light color back there. So I'll just keep moving the stencil around. And this one has lots of small cloud images, so it's good for card fronts as opposed to large rolling clouds for a larger background. So this works. So I'll get everything cleaned up, and then I'll bring in the colored pencils. So this is a little sneak peek. They'll be available September 1st. These are the Colorista colored pencil line, and I love these colored pencils. They have a good amount for the price point. They have a great amount of pigment in them, and they're super easy to use, and they're just colored pencils. You color with them, so lots of different colors to choose from. So you can look forward to seeing that available September 1st. Okay, so now I have my panel all done, and I'm going to bring in some of this Memory Lane paper. This collection's available until the end of August. Lots of soft colors in this palette, but really easy to work with. You can use it for all different kinds of subjects and card designs and scrapbook layouts. So I encourage you to check it out. So I'm going to use the soft, the light side of Sapphire for my background, and then I'll trim down this sort of ombre wash. And I'm cutting that at 4 by 5 1/4, but you'll see I trim it down further. And at first I thought I was going to do portrait, but then I changed my mind. I'm going to do landscape, and I'm going to stamp on my colored image. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment. It says thinking of you. So we'll stamp that over the clouds in the background. Also in charcoal ink. And then we'll trim that panel down a little bit further, and I'll mat it with that sage patterned paper. Okay, so now we have all the components, and I've got things kind of laid out, and then I'll go ahead and make that mat with that sage patterned paper. Just a little bit bigger than that colored panel. And I just felt like it was covering up too much of, well, it just felt like the background needed a little something with that ombre paper. So I'm going to trim it down and create 3 rectangular blocks to break it up. So I'm just going to make 3 strips at 1.5 inches. And then I'll lay them down on my background to kind of break it up. Okay, so that's the basic design of my card. So we'll get everything put together with some Tombow tape runner. And then I decided to ink the edges of my colored panel with some Journey ink. So I'm just sponging some color around the edges just to give it more of a definite edge and a defined border, and a little pop of color. Okay, so we'll get those layered up, and then I'm going to use some craft foam to pop the whole panel. So use some wet glue to put that down and center it. And I'm calling that done. I don't think it really needs anything else. Okay, so that card is done. Pretty quick, easy coloring with colored pencils. Nice soft colors. Okay, let's make another one. So I'm going to get started basically the same way as the other one. So I have White Daisy loaded into my Misty, and we're going to ink it up with charcoal ink. I'm also going to add color with colored pencils to this panel. But before I start coloring, I'm going to die cut it. So I'm going to use the larger background circle of this shaker window. So we're not actually making a shaker with this. I'm just cutting out the background circle, and then I'll be cutting out the frame that's stitched to put over it. So I've got that cut out, and then I'll bring in, well, I'm going to bring in all the different patterns and kind of decide. Okay, so I like this honey butter swirled paper, and then deciding what I want to do my frame in, and I decided on sapphire. So I'm going to use the light side of sapphire. And then we'll start cutting things up for our background. So I'm going to use the sage cardstock again, or pattern paper again. So that'll be the bottom portion of my card design. So I'm cutting that at 4 by 3 inches. And I'm going to leave this zip strip on. I like those little flowers. So I'm going to cut that at 4 by 2.5. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in some more sapphire, and that will be my base. So I'll mat everything on top of that. So it's also the light side of sapphire. And then we'll stack everything together. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment at the bottom of this piece of sage pattern paper. And I'm just going to use hello. But you can choose any of the sentiments that you want from this set, and you can put it down in that bottom right corner. I stamped it out with charcoal ink. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, and we'll create a little cloud background with that stencil. So I'll skip ahead in a second. Let's put this stamped image down on my sticky mat and just start inking it up with Journey ink. And we'll layer in some clouds in that little background. Okay. All right, and then I'll bring in the colored pencils and add some color to that background. All right, so now we're ready to start building our card. I have a card base, and we'll just start putting things together with tape runner and layer everything together. Pretty simple. And it's a pretty quick card. Easy to add the color with the colored pencils. And just pull all these different components together. So off camera, I have cut 2 more layers of that frame to give it a little bit more dimension and lift. And so all 3 layers are glued together, and then we'll add that frame to the card front. And then for the last step, I'm going to add a clear sparkle where that dot is after the word hello. And we'll call that done. So I'll make a list of all these supplies with links in the description below. The Stamp of the Month is available during the month of August. With any $50 purchase, you can get it for $5, or if you're a VIP, you can get it for free with a $50 purchase. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.